Let's return to Abuja, where Adisa is standing by. Joke, talk to us about the areas you visited today and what you saw happen.
Holiday for civil servants in the nation's capital. As early as 7 a.m., when we set out, we realized that the roads were practically empty. The city center was practically empty, even all the way through the neighboring estates. They were practically empty. An area that normally takes maybe 10, 15 minutes drive. You are doing that journey in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And so that tells you how free the roads were this morning. But right at the city center, like I said, we got to the federal secretariat. That place was also empty, no workers, even traders were affected. You get to bus stops, the bus stops were very dry. But one critical thing that happened was that when we went to Maraba shares border with the FCT, Maraba Yanya, and right as early as very early this morning, that place was tension soaked. We saw there's some youths, we saw them gathering in groups and all that. We also saw security men, though. We saw armed soldiers, we saw policemen, we saw various security operatives around that place patrolling and all that. So after a while, we saw that the tension, so we had to quickly do what we needed to do, and we left. But after a while, of course, we were also at a Wuse market where the market was opened, but most of the shops inside of the market were not opened. Many of the traders that we spoke to said they would not want their goods to be looted. So that from there, of course, we went back to Maraba, and that was where we got the shocker. We saw a mammoth crowd of protesters from Maraba, Yanya Hazis, heading to the city center. We took the bravery of soldiers, armed men of the Nigerian army, to stop them. Tear gas canisters were fired, and so they were prevented. They were sent back so that they would not get into the city center. So today was tension soaked for even journalists that just must be on the road. It was indeed tension soaked, but for civil servants, it's a free day.
Absolutely, Joke. And these protests were supposed to be restrained within the MKO Abiola Stadium. But there's a report online about a police station burnt down in Yaya axis of Abuja. Is that something you can confirm?
Yes, that happened. We saw the tension. We saw the way everyone was tensed up, and so we had to quickly do what we needed to do and left. So it was moments after we left that they now began to hold bonfires, burning tires, and all that. And the next thing was that, as we were also told, that that particular police station was razed. Some other people were also killed, as we learned. But and I think that this is what the government has been saying. Even those that were even genuinely for the protest, the fear really has been it not been hijacked, and that is what we have seen today. If you go through from Gwarin Park Kubwa to Azuba, it was people died there today. The so-called protesters, they took to stealing and harassing people, vandalizing of cars and breaking down cars and all that. So even one of our colleagues also fell victim in the course of duty. So I think I don't know. Security personnel, our security operatives sure have a lot on their hands. They have a lot to do to ensure that, because I do know that those genuinely for the protest are not the ones that resorted to vandalism and harassment and stealing and all that. So the security operatives sure have a lot to do to ensure that this protest, of course, does not get more than what we have seen today.
Has there been any reaction yet from the FCT minister as regards what happened today?
Well, for now, I'm sure all reports, of course, will be on his table for now, and I'm sure he will still be collecting inputs from the fields, and at the appropriate time, he sure would make his voice known. And don't also forget that the police, the police especially, is the one that should be in charge of internal security, and glad that TVC was able to speak with the the PPRO of the police, and he has also been able, because I'm sure they're also collating and they're also strategizing to ensure that things do not get out of hand.
Adisa, live for us in Abuja. Thank you for the updates there. Let's turn now to Gombe State, where protests for good governance, which started peacefully with a procession